What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. We're going to talk a little Saints commies here, guys. Saints Commanders coming up Sunday in the Dome. And I don't have a lot of hope for the home team here. Okay, I mean, how could you, right? Again, I know you all hate Derek Carr, and I get it. I get it. Deeply unexciting. I do think it's deeply funny that the Falcons saw what you did with Derek Carr, did the same thing with Kirk Cousins, and it's arguably even worse.
I don't think it's arguably worse. It's definitely worse.
It is objectively worse.
Would you send us yesterday, the only quarterback in however long to have 0 touchdowns and 8 picks through 4 games?
Oh, yeah, I don't even know. That was just a headline I saw when I was waiting on Alondra to open up the door to let me in.
Wait, what headline?
What did it say? It's in the group text. What did it say, Taylor?
Oh.
It's about Kirk Cousins.
Oh,
again, misery loves company, right? And it's very funny to me. Now, granted, Kirk was way better.
Kirk Cousins is the first starting quarterback with 0 passing touchdowns and 8 or more interceptions in a 4-game span since Ben Roethlisberger in 2005.
Hey, they won the Super Bowl that year. I don't know if they did, but it was around then.
Yeah, but he was in like his second year.
No, I know. I'm kidding. The point is, it's deeply funny to me, though, that the Falcons saw the Saints do this kind of disastrous signing. Oh, here's a veteran guy who's never really proved to be great, but has been very, very solid for a long time. They pay him a lot of money. And the Falcons and they watch the Falcons like, well, we want to do that too. And now they're in the exact same situation where they've given Kirk $100 million guaranteed, basically 180 on the contract as a whole, and he appears to be done. Now, maybe Michael Penix ends up being that guy, and then you give them credit for going quarterback when people thought that they shouldn't. We'll see. But the only saving grace for if you're a Saints fan right now, for no matter how you feel about Derek Carr, is that you can always look at the Falcons and start to laugh now. Because what looked good at the beginning of the season has turned into a bit of a train wreck and a bit of a disaster. Now, so the point of this, regardless of how you feel about Derek Carr, he's been fine this year. Not great. He does not necessarily win you games, but he is a legitimate starting NFL quarterback. And the numbers back that up, right? He's like 13th in QBR, 11th in QB rating, yards per attempt, 11th. So, yeah, he's honestly, you're kind of getting a bit more than you paid for, maybe statistically, given that he's like the 18th paid quarterback in the NFL right now. But the point of all this, even if you hate him, you're not better without him. You're just not at all. In fact, you could not take a further step down. Yes, losing Eric McCoy, massive. Losing Demario Davis for a time, huge. But there's no bigger impact than losing your quarterback. Why did you go on that 7-game losing streak? Well, a lot of it was because you lost Derek Carr. So I don't have a lot of hope for Sunday. But I have maybe found, right, if I'm Paul Atreides, and I've drunk the sandworm blue juice, just slurped it up, and I've looked into the future, and I found the one pathway in which the Saints win this game. I think I may have found it. Does anyone want to hazard a guess at what it may be?
At what, the solution for Sunday?
Yeah, what the Saints could maybe see on paper, maybe where they would have an advantage they could seek to exploit.
You're going to have to run the crap out of that football, first off, with Alvin Kamara. You're going to have to force at least one defensive turnover.
Yeah, you got the turnover, exactly. But you nailed it, actually, Taylor. I'm proud of you. If you look at Washington right now, they have one of the top defenses in the NFL from a scoring, or I think they're maybe middle of the pack scoring standpoint. Yeah. Total yardage, though, they're a bit higher than middle of the pack. They're very good pass defense, top 5 in the NFL, bottom 5 against the run. So if there is a weakness to exploit, and think about it, it also masks your deficiencies, right? What helps a subpar quarterback that's thrust into situations for some of the first times in his career? An excellent running game. What else does that do? It chews clock. It keeps the ball out of Jayden Daniels' hands. Because the defense is going to, if the Saints are going to win, the other part of the defense is just going to have to kick ass because the Commanders' offense is awesome. And unfortunately, they're awesome at rushing the ball, and you kind of suck against the run. So at that point, you just got to play better than you have been. Like offensively, you've run the ball quite well this year, so that does kind of match up where you can maybe exploit that weakness. Defensively, it's one of those unfortunate games where you just got to be good where you've been bad this year. But if you can do that, right? And granted, this defense gets randomly really frisky at times, though. Look what they did to the Rams. And then a week later, the Rams put up 42 on Buffalo. You had that Atlanta offense that was red hot, and you didn't allow a touchdown for the entire game or half the game or something like that. Like I'm trying to struggle to remember. So maybe you got to hope to catch one of those Sundays defensively, which being in the dome goes a long way towards making that happen. And then you just got to rely on Kamara and Kendre Miller. And it really sucks that you don't have Taysom Hill in this game. If you had Taysom Hill, I would feel like you had a bit of a chance. As it stands now, it would be Darren Rizzi's greatest feather in his cap yet if you were to win this game without Derek Carr. Should go ahead and give Clint Kubiak a key to the city if you find a way to win this game without Derek Carr. Any takes on Sunday's Saints Commies game, guys?
So, again, like you were talking about running the ball, I think the offensive line is going to be key in this game. And it's weird to say, we were talking about it the other day, like what's the strength of the Saints offense? It might actually be the O-line. Because what did we see? I always go back to the Bucs game because what you're laying out kind of resembles that, right? Like your defense has to be good, but be good throughout the game. Like what did we see with the Bucs? They jumped up to a 17-0 lead in that game. Then you force Baker Mayfield to do 3 first-half interceptions. You cut the lead to 3. But you never felt like you were threatening the Bucs because you couldn't do anything offensively.
Yeah.
Mainly run the ball because you had 2 backup offensive linemen in there. It's a little bit different in this game because your starting O-line's up there.
You're fully healthy again.
That's the offensive line is going to make the biggest difference for me.
So we'll see if they can somehow find a way. Again, if the Rizzler starts to win games like this without Carr, you do got to start it to take it real seriously about, do you give him a chance as a bridge guy? And ultimately, it's one of those unfortunate hires where you're kind of hiring him to be a bit of a sacrificial lamb because you're saying, okay, look, you did a lot with a little this year, and we're going to continue to give you a little as we kind of reset our cap, as we try to refine pieces, as we shuttle off the old baggage and move into a new generation. So it's not exactly the most fair situation to get a head coaching opportunity anyway. But if you win a game like this, well, yeah, I mean, look, we're going to have to very, very, very seriously discuss it. And I don't think it would necessarily be the worst thing at this time, as I don't see anybody else coming in from the outside and like just making this team good, right? Like, I guess that's something we never consider. Let's say you get Ben Johnson. Are you a good team? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Right? I mean, like, it doesn't matter.
Ben Johnson has a chance to be great, but like so many people are like, Ben Johnson's Vince Lombardi, and he's never coached a game yet. They're like, any team, he's going to completely turn around your franchise. Like, hold up. He's going to be a first-time head coach who's an offensive specialist. But if you have crap all around him, you're still going to be crap.
But, I mean, it's like, but, okay, let's say, I don't know, who do you think is the best coach in the NFL? Let's say you have Kyle Shanahan.
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, are you a good team? I don't think so. I think you could be better, I think maybe you could be better than what you were this year, certainly. But I don't know that there's any coach that's just going to come in here and overcome the very widespread personnel problems that this roster has currently.
I think. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just think Clint Kubiak proved that, though, that you can't come in and just save a team that doesn't have a good core.
But he has also proven that you can be. But I was going to say he has also proven that you can be way better because he has done. I do think he's squeezing blood from the stones.
I'm not saying he's doing a bad job. I'm just saying
there's a ceiling.
Yeah.
No, there's absolutely a ceiling. So the point of all that is like there will always be. So it's funny. Somebody was talking to me yesterday. Of course, Emory Jones going to the NFL. The immediate call's like, "How do we feel about Brian Kelly?" And then I was talking to my friend. He's like, "I'm in love with Kenny Dillingham." I'm like, look, I get that for sure. But here's the deal is there will always be a Kenny Dillingham. There's always going to be the hot candidate out there, no matter the year when you make the coaching switch. And you just have to hope that a hot candidate's real if you do it and make the switch. So I guess what I'm getting at is like Ben Johnson, whoever you want to say now. Yeah, he's the guy today. But do you want to bring in the kind of top, or try to fight to bring in the top guy if you're not going to give him a good set of ingredients with which to work? Or do you maybe wait until you feel like you're in a better spot to make that move? And then if you still feel the need to, well, you go get the hot candidate then. It's all food for thought. Only time will tell what the Saints end up doing. But again, this Sunday against Commanders, I think Washington wins, obviously. I think without their Carr, it's very easy to see. But if the Rizzler manages to rally the team and pull this off in a close game, well, we got to start thinking about it. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.